Hello everyone and welcome to another devlog video for Homegrown, the casual farming game I'm making using my own engine. And in this video I'm going to be designing a new town area for the in-game shops. So I've already implemented shops into the game. I showed that in a previous devlog video. So there's a shop where you can go and sell your produce, and then there are other shops where you can use your money to buy new stuff for your farm, like new seeds or better tools. Up until now though, you have to access the shops using these temporary buttons at the top here, but this week I want to create an actual 3D scene for the town area, and that's where you're going to go to access the shops, and they're actually going to be 3D buildings in the world. Just been doing a quick bit of planning to work out exactly what I have to do for this update. And the idea is that the town area is going to be a completely separate scene from your home area, and there's going to be a button that you just click to switch between the town and your home. The problem at the moment is that my code kind of assumes that there's only ever going to be one scene per game. So first order of the day, I need to rework that code to make it possible to have multiple scenes and to make it possible to switch between those scenes. So after a bit of rearranging in the code, I've now made it possible to have multiple scenes and to be able to switch between them. So here's one garden scene and here's another garden scene, and if I do something in here and then I can switch and do something in this scene, and you can see those changes are still there. So it's basically as if I had two garden areas to work on, which obviously isn't the aim of this. The next stage is going to be to convert one of these garden scenes into the town scene. So just a bit more rearranging in the code, and it's now possible for me to create different types of scenes, different areas. So here's the normal garden scene where you can use your tools to dig up stuff and plant stuff. And then the other scene, which is going to become the town area, here you can't use your tools because obviously I don't want the player to be able to dig up the town. And I can actually add more scenes if I want. I just have to add to create a new scene creator, and I have actually created one more. So if I wanted, I could add more areas to the game, although at the moment I'm just planning on having the two. Next up, I wanted to add a button that you can click on to go between the scenes. So I just created a quick texture for that here. I'm not worrying too much about what the UI looks like at the moment because I'm going to be doing a big makeover for the UI fairly soon. So I put the button up in the top right here, and clicking on that takes me to the town area. And then once I'm done with the shops here, I can click on the button again and that will take me back to the home area. I've just been spending a bit of time trying to create a nice transition animation for when you move between the scenes so that the scene change isn't quite as sudden. So first I made a really simple fade in, fade out effect, which was okay, but now I've just been creating this sweeping arrow effect, which I think I like a little bit better. But again, I'll spend more time on this transition when I do the big UI makeover soon. Last up today, I've just been connecting up the in-game shops with the buildings in the town area. So I created a new shop component which I can add to an entity to tell it which shop it should be, and then in the game if I click on that entity it opens up the relevant shop. So that's pretty much the functionality for this whole update done already. So when I'm working on my farm at any time, I can now go to the town area to sell my produce and then use the money to buy better tools or better equipment for my farm. So that's the basic concept done, but the town area still looks pretty bad at the moment. So I think tomorrow I'm going to spend a bit of time trying to create a nicer looking scene for the town. So today I'm going to be designing the town for the game, which I'm really looking forward to. I think it's going to be quite a fun task. I don't want to spend too long on it at this stage. It's not really the right time in development to be working on a purely visual task. I know the visuals are going to change probably changed quite a bit over the course of development. Plus the town area kind of depends on what features I'm going to be adding to the game, to the town later on. So it's just going to be a first draft for now, but looking forward to getting some of the basics done. And first up today, I'm just going to quickly plan the layout of the town. So here's the rough layout that I've got planned for the town, nothing too fancy. And the next step is now to get into Blender and start creating this town plan in 3D. So I've been getting started in Blender, just roughly putting in the layout of the town with the paths and the river. And I had a bit of a decision to make, which I hadn't really thought about before, and that is, does the town area need to be grid-based? Because your farm area, everything's based on a grid, so everything that you make, all the paths, all the flower beds, they're all going to have straight edges, they're all based on this very solid grid, so you can't have any curved paths or anything. And the town area obviously should be in the same style as the farm area. It needs to all feel coherent, it shouldn't feel like a completely different game. So does the town area then also need to look like it was based on the same kind of grid? And I'm really not sure, and I haven't actually decided yet. I thought for now I would try out the grid-based approach just to see how it looks, because it's a bit harder to imagine how that would look. And if it ends up looking terrible, I can always change it in the future. So the town area is coming along nicely, all going well so far. Just been filling it up with objects. So far it's mostly been objects that I already had in the game, so I haven't really had to make any new models yet. Apart from this bridge here, I just made that quickly. But now I want to get started on the buildings, so I need to make some new house models. Just finished making the first couple of buildings for the town area, and I'm pretty satisfied with how they look, especially the fruit and veg store. I'm really happy with how that turned out, except for the roof. I don't really understand roofs, but it looks okay. It took ages to make though, so I think for the other shops for now, I'm just going to create variations of this building, because I don't really have time to make 3 more distinct shop models. So I'm going to do that now, then I've got a few more little objects to make, and then I'll be pretty much done. So the town area, or at least my first attempt at the town area, is now finished. So I just want to quickly show you around. So this is the town centre where all the main shops are. So we've got the vegetable shop where you sell your produce. We've got the tool shop, the seed shop, and the compost shop. The compost shop didn't really turn out how I expected. I really wanted to make an oval shaped building here, but I don't know, it didn't really go that well. I'll have another go at that at some point. Then I've added a few little houses around, because at some point I'd like to have little people walking around the town to make it feel a bit more alive, but I'm not going to be implementing that just yet. Still got to decide on the whole grid-based thing. I think I'm going to wait until I redesign the home area, because I'm going to be doing that soon, and I'll see whatever I choose there. I have to match in the town, so I'll see what I decide there before I make any changes to the town. The river obviously still needs a water shader. I'll be implementing that probably not soon, but definitely before release. Then next to the main town area, I've left this kind of empty field because I'm planning at some point to have a farmer's market that pops up now and again, and that's going to provide you with some different mechanics for selling your produce. I've got a few ideas of how that's going to work, so that's why I've left this area clear. So yeah, that's the town area so far. I'll definitely be expanding on it as I add more features. I've got quite a few more ideas of what other services the town could provide. But for now, for a first attempt, I'm pretty satisfied on how the town's looking. I just wanted to quickly show you some of the changes I've made to the particle system since the last devlog video. So quite a few people suggested that I should implement hot loading to make it easier to create particle effects, and I have now done that. So when I'm editing the settings for a particle effect, I now don't have to restart the game in order to see the changes. As soon as I edit the file, the particle effect in the game updates, and this just makes creating particle effects so much easier because I get instant feedback about the changes that I'm making in the settings. And one other thing that I changed is that I made it possible to carry out the same particle effects but provide different parameters. So for example, all of these plants are using the same harvesting particle effects, but they each provide their own color parameter so that the particle effect color matches the color of their leaves. So that is going to be it for this video. Before I finish, I want to give a big shout out to the top Patreon supporters, who are Zanil Ambakar, Atomic Code, Jaden Dole, Walden Yan, Chris Naismith, 7SignBits, Alan Lance, Josiah Hillman, Dieter Reinert, Harry Chung, Christoph Herpo, Adam Farkas, Gregory Horvath, Hagen Vingard, Matthew Connaughton, Miggy Dozed, Andrew Witt, Marek Mikolajczyk, Sean McCrory, Caffeine Coder, Timothy Gibbons, Alexander Chavez, and Neil Blakey Milner. So a massive thank you to you guys, and of course to everyone else supporting me over on Patreon. For this video though, that is it, so thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.